Well, the attrition rate is increasing. This is lap 56, 9 to go, including this one, and it's not far off being completed, with Piquet leading Mansell by 8.3 seconds when they went through last time. Mansell carving into the lead of the Brazilian. 7.5 you see there. They're coming through to complete the lap. I've got Piquet over the line. There he goes. Now I see Mansell approaching it, and you'll see him come out of the corner in a moment, and the gap is 6.4 seconds.
Well, with all this excitement going on up front, let us not forget the race for the normally aspirated cars going on behind. And whilst Palmer and Streff and the two Tyrrells were battling for the lead of that for most of this race, it's now been resolved pretty much, or at this stage anyway, in Palmer's favour, because he's got past Streff, and Streff's engine has become very rough, and he's dropped a long, long way back. So Piquet now fighting his way through the traffic. This, of course, is a potential problem for him, and of course for Mansell. They're racing hard, but they've still got to be careful around the slower cars. They can't afford to throw it away. And you see now Mansell has Piquet in his sights. He can now see Nelson Piquet, and that will give him that extra little boost as he... and there we are, there's the fan club for Nigel. Go, go, go. And he certainly is riding toward us as far as that's concerned.
6.2 seconds was the gap at the end of the previous lap. There's Mansell. He can see Piquet ahead of him. There is the Flying Britisher with 8 laps to go. Nigel Mansell in second place, Piquet leading, Senna in third position, the only man still on the same lap as the leaders. Nakajima is fourth, Warwick is fifth, 2 laps down. Farby is sixth, 2 laps down. Boutsen is seventh, 2 laps down. In 8th position, Alain Prost was, but is now out of the race because effectively there are only 7 runners left, and the gap between Piquet and Mansell now is 3.9 seconds. It's less, look! Savour this. This is a great British Grand Prix. We had a superlative race in France. This is terrific. And if anybody is slow in letting Piquet through, Mansell is going to be right up with the Brazilian. This is the end of lap 58. Past me goes Nakajima, who is in 4th position. There's Senna behind him. Here is Piquet, and here is Mansell, and the gap is 3.06 seconds into Copse. Mansell coming up on the tail ender to lap him. Out of Copse. Past, it's Fabre, but he's just lapped. Now he's coming up to Senna. Ayrton Senna in 3rd position is about to be lapped, or will be shortly, and you can see the crowd already sensing the possibility of a Mansell victory, urging the Englishmen on, waving their programmes, waving their hats. I'm sure they're shouting at him as well. And another lap record, 1 minute 9.8, 153 miles an hour.
Yes, tremendous stimulus it is. With all the crowd waving you on like that, you don't particularly see them, but you can feel the atmosphere. And Mansell will be getting a real charge, but he is really charging. Fabulous stuff. But remember, he's still got to get past Piquet. He's got to catch him. If Piquet's been wily and kept a little bit of extra fuel in there, he can turn his boost up, and that could make him very difficult to pass, depending on whether Nigel has done the same thing or not. Certainly Nigel has more grip, but if Piquet can call on additional power, if he's been really clever, then doesn't matter how much grip Nigel's got, he can't respond with additional boost, and the 2 Lotuses are causing a lot of trouble for Nigel there. So, and there is the view from Nakajima. He lets him go, but he's still got Senna to deal with. And we know there's little love lost, and Senna won't make things easy for Mansell, but it looks like Mansell's got the power and the straight line speed just to blast past him. And in fact, Senna was very polite indeed, kept over to the right-hand side of the track and let Nigel go. So the battle is on. The Tyrrell there won't be a problem for them.
And in spite of all that passing problem, Nigel Mansell on lap 60 out of 65 is still only a whisker over 2 seconds behind Piquet and gaining. They're coming up to complete lap 60 now, into and out of the new right-hander, which I judge to have been a success. Piquet, Mansell, 1.7 seconds. 4 laps to go, including the one they are on. Piquet, of course, knows what the situation, as does Mansell. They both have their radio information. Mansell can see Piquet, and Piquet, of course, will see Mansell getting ever bigger in the mirrors. 1.6 seconds difference, I think it's less than that now, as they come to the fastest part of the course. Mansell with superior grip on a newer set of tyres. Piquet has gone through non-stop. Of course, there's no way he's going to stop now. He's got to desperately hang on, and when Mansell gets under his rear wing, as inevitably he is soon going to do, they're on lap 61, Piquet has got to make it, or will make it, as difficult as he can for the Englishman to get a faster line.
Yes, and of course, see the crowd just waving and cheering Nigel Mansell on, and such is the speed of the Williams that when they passed Ayrton Senna then, they have now lapped the entire field. So the Williams team is going from strength to strength and absolutely dominant in Grand Prix racing on the faster circuits at the moment. They showed that in France a week ago, and they've showed it even more emphatically here at Silverstone.
Lap 62, less than a second. Yes, Frank Williams there, and Greg Norman. Greg, of course, pitching for his friend and fellow golfer Nigel Mansell, number 5, there he is. It's certainly less than 0.8 of a second now as they go down the Hangar Straight. And Mansell is now going to harry Nelson Piquet with 3 laps to go, including the one that they are on, to find his opportunity to surge past. And if he does, it will be to win his 3rd successive Grand Prix in Britain. The European in 85, the British in 86, and the British in 87. If that happens, and look at the crowd. They're willing Nigel Mansell on. If willpower was horsepower, Nigel Mansell would have at least another 100 as he comes through now to complete lap 62. Now he is with Piquet.
This is now where Nelson Piquet will have to call on all his experience. Mansell, as we say, with superior grip, there's nothing Piquet can do about that, but if he saved up a little bit of fuel, he's still the man in front, and that is the dominant position, but Mansell is really on a high, and the crowd, of course, you can see them waving and cheering in the background, and that is definitely worth something. Just that little bit of atmosphere puts you on a bit of an extra high, a bit of an extra charge, and this is where Mansell will be looking to challenge. Piquet will hold the inside line. And Mansell's through, and a tremendous driving by Nigel, but that really was a bad mistake by Piquet to go back to the other side of the track. He just opened the door again for Nigel Mansell. He really should have held the right-hand side of the track and made Nigel go around the outside. And so Nigel Mansell looks as if he's sewn up the British Grand Prix.
And he's done it from 25 seconds back. He's 4th back. He's recovered those 25 seconds, and as he did in France, he has just driven straight past Nelson Piquet on the inside. I suspect that the Brazilian could do little about it. Let's have a look at it again, as with 2 laps to go, including this one, there is Piquet in the lead. Watch Mansell come first to the left, now to the right. He's got the inside line. He is level with Nelson Piquet.
Yeah, and that was bad. Piquet handed back the inside line to Mansell, having gone to block the inside line. He moved to the right track, or stayed on the right-hand side of the track, and then for totally inexplicable reason, he moved back and just opened the door, and it was really quite strange, because at this stage of the race, one is entitled to hold the inside line and make your opponent go the long way round, and it really is a bit of a worry seeing Piquet do that. I just can't understand it.
Well, once again, as the Union Jacks wave and the crowds roar, Nigel Mansell has demonstrated psychological superiority over his double world champion teammate Nelson Piquet. Mansell is about to start the 65th and last lap of the British Grand Prix, and if they finish where they are now, the World Championship is going to be in a fantastic situation. Senna leading 1 point ahead of Mansell and Piquet tying, and now Mansell's on his last lap.
Yes, Nigel Mansell going around Copse on his last lap, and what a fantastic drive. It was a private battle between the two Williamses, and once again Nigel has put it over Nelson Piquet very emphatically. He did the pit stop. They both they gambled on quite different tactics, of course. Nelson trying to go through the race without a tyre change, but the storming drive that Nigel put in after his pit stop, just pulverising the lap record, lapping over a second quicker than anybody else on the circuit, was tremendous entertainment to watch, and really showed the grit and determination and skill, of course, of Nigel Mansell, and the crowd loved it. Wonderful atmosphere here at Silverstone. Look at that crowd just waving him home, and now he can almost coast to the line. Just one more corner to go.
To win his third successive Grand Prix in Britain. It's just the left, the right, and now Nigel Mansell, winning the British Grand Prix for the second year in succession, can see the checkered flag. Out he goes. Mansell has won the British Grand Prix. Nelson Piquet finishes in second place, and it is going to have been a superb British Grand Prix for Britain, because with Senna finishing in third place lapped, fourth Nakajima, Derek Warwick is going to be fifth in the Arrows ahead of sixth position Theo Fabi, and Jonathan Palmer looks like winning the 3.5 litre category for Tyrrell in eighth position. But that is the man of the race. He has stamped his authority in the heaviest possible way on the Williams team, on his teammate Piquet, on Silverstone, and now on the World Championship, because Nigel Mansell is in second place in the World Championship, tying with Piquet, just 1 point behind Senna. He led the championship after San Marino, then he plunged down to fifth position, and in 2 races he's come back to second equal. And subject to official confirmation then, with Mansell having won, with Piquet having finished second, Senna third, and Nakajima a superb fourth place, back in the points again for the Japanese driver for the third time this year. A fifth place for Britain with Derek Warwick in the Arrows. Sixth for Fabi. It will mean to say that Senna, as Nigel leads home, is leading the World Championship by 1 point, for a tie for second place between Piquet and Mansell. Prost in fourth position, and the British crowd break ranks. They're marvellous at this, and they will go back to their positions after this race and before the next one, and I can think of no other crowd in the world that would do that. The British enthusiasm for Grand Prix racing has never shown more. Nigel is not going to be allowed to get back to his pit. Amazing. And what an absolutely incredible drive. We've always known that Nigel Mansell had enough guts, grit and determination for any 10 men. He has shown that more than ever before, and I've seen some very gritty drives from the Isle of Man, because that's what he is now. Brought up in Birmingham, but now he regards his natural home as the Isle of Man, and it's going to be a fantastic homecoming for him. But remember Nelson Piquet, he drove magnificently. Victory has been snatched from his hands yet again. He is at the end of the lap, and yet another second place for Nelson Piquet. It is his 5th of the year, because Nelson has been consistently in that position, finishing there in Brazil and Monaco and Detroit and France, but he's had to settle again. Nigel Mansell's 3rd win of the year gives him the most wins of the year and puts him very firmly on track, as he was in 1986 for the World Championship.